districts for increased development of water for production facilities, because the more animals move in search for water and pasture, the more they spread and the more they become vulnerable. We shall also increase availability of farm mechanization equipment for affordable animal feed production, to encourage intensive farming and reduce extensive animal roaming that facilitates disease spread. As a long-term measure, vaccine production is being prioritized under NARO. In this regard, I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for having visited NARO with colleague MPs and for your pledge to support their research funding gaps. How long the disease spread to various districts and yet how did the disease spread to other districts and yet there are measures put in place? Honorable Speaker and colleagues, where the competent authority in MAIF has put in place these disease control measures, there is a lack of cooperation and compliance among stakeholders in some districts, not all, but some districts. Quite often there is a clash and sometimes connivance as enforcement personnel and veterinary officials to flout these measures. They want markets to go on for revenue while facilitating disease transmission. This is how and why the disease further spreads and the quarantine duration inevitably gets prolonged. What support does MAIF need from the stakeholders? Honorable Speaker, the most sustainable solution is the ideal approach explained above of routine biannual compulsory FMD vaccination for all the susceptible animals. In the meantime, as we process the proposed policy measures through Cabinet, we seek the support of a supplementary budget. Right Honorable, we have a meeting with the Minister of Finance at 4, if you allow me to go, to see the possibility of procuring 10 million doses. Again, we've never gotten any, to cover all the affected and high-risk districts, and also support and equip district veterinary officials with the disease surveillance tools and resources, more personnel, and enabling infrastructure like cold rooms for vaccines. Because if we get more doses, they require for safe storage. Conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, I would like to appeal to honorable colleagues and fellow farmers to appreciate and support these measures and bear with government as we fight to control and eradicate FMD. I further appeal to the district veterinary authorities to ensure strict disease surveillance, timely reporting, and ensure transparency and accountability in the demonstration of the government-provided vaccines. I further appeal to fellow political leaders, especially the district local governments, to respect and support the disease control chain of command with veterinary scientists in the lead. Let them lead and we support them. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. No, colleagues, at the time of debate, we don't deal with clarification. It's a debate. So, Honorable Minister, I want to thank you. Please. Number one, the vibrancy you brought to the ministry and the passion which you have for the agriculture sector, with the support of your colleagues, Honorable Afande Ramirama, Honorable Adoa, and Honorable Chakuraga. I visited NARO. Honorable colleagues, I would urge each one of you, because you see, sometimes the minister kept calling me, visit NARO, visit NARO. So, but what do I do at NARO? But I feel every month I should visit NARO. They are doing a fantastic job. These are our professionals who do not know about our politics. They know about technical work. The only thing they need is our support. Because when you look at the commercial, if we can commercialize what they are doing, or you can find they are able to even bring down the cost of these vaccines by more than half. But also the steady supply, quick supply, instead of waiting for all this period. So during this budgeting period, Committee on Agriculture and Committee on Budget Please, issues of supporting narrow. These are issues, let's put our foot on. We are an agriculture-based economy. We can't run away from this. And I promise I will follow up because they are doing a fantastic job. Honorable colleagues, you have heard the minister, and you will allow me, I start with members from the cattle code and professionals in the area. Yes, Dr. Bwanika, when he's presenting on these matters, you know, okay? Then members of the budget committee, I beg you listen so that you know what you're going to implement. So let me start with Honorable Kajwenje. I add on Chiruhura. I add on Gomba. I add on Chankwanzi. Kwizera, I don't have many cows in Mixoro, but I will allow you. Yeah? I allow Amorata. No, but Honorable colleagues, what I promise you is, if you don't become selfish, you take wrong. Please, I promised you to give you time on this issue. So just take your time. So let's do very quick, and then we come to the doctor. Yeah. No, I'm going to pick you, Honorable colleagues. Yes, please, Honorable Kajwenji.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. I have listened to the Minister of Agriculture, a very good statement, but I'm at pains. I also acknowledge that the team at MAIF is doing a great job. However, I come here with a heavy laden heart. My constituents, the people of Nyabushozi, who are now under a quarantine restriction, who cannot sell anything, who depend 99% on the cattle, who next week are supposed to take their children to school. They cannot sell their milk, they cannot service their loans, they cannot get treated, they can't even treat the sick animals. Just because somebody, the minister, named the commander of the disease by a stroke of a pen, imposed the quarantine restriction. And why a quarantine restriction? For a disease, a viral disease that can be eradicated. Right, Honorable Speaker, this country, under the NRM leadership, has eradicated diseases. Why on earth can't we eradicate FMD? Yet the livestock subsector contributes significantly to our national budget. Is it poor planning? Is it poor budgeting? I want to attribute it to poor planning. I'm sorry for that. Let me say this. The statement clearly says the vaccine costs $2. But treating a sick cow is $20. It's more expensive tenfold. So why can't we have sufficient vaccine vials in the country? Two, let me say this, right, Honorable Speaker. Amazingly, our farmers buy more expensive vaccines on their own. They buy injectables on their own, more expensive than FMD vaccine. If, let me state, the Ministry of Agriculture cannot procure sufficient doses to cover the national herd, get out to best regulation. Regulate the importation, regulate safekeeping, regulate a vaccine exercise. But let these vaccination be sufficiently available on the market. Or allow farmer cooperatives like I have in Nyabushozi. Farmers have grouped themselves in cooperatives. They have the necessary resources. It requires them to have fridges, require them to have all the necessary facilities to keep vaccines, but allow them to procure vaccines on their own. Right Honorable Speaker, ring vaccination is a lazy policy. Is a completely lazy policy. Why? It comes after outbreak. Vaccination, or what you can call inoculation, comes before the disease outbreak. So what are we going to do with our children? What are people going to eat? What are we going to use to treat our animals?
Yeah, but Honorable,
And the government is here?
Honorable Kajwin,
Yes.
are you saying you want the minister to lift and open
In the
lift
first
the
case,
quarantine? Because you see, when you're talking of next week, you're talking of immediate and short term.
absolutely.
Okay?
This
So-
this quarantine is not helping anything, Right Honorable Speaker. I can tell you, we are only treating, we are not vaccinating. There is already an outbreak. You inoculate or you vaccinate before an outbreak. It is even unheard of that we should be here on the floor of Parliament discussing that the whole country has an outbreak of FMD. It is bad for our economy.
Because
It
you
is
see,
bad for business.
Our fear, take it for example, during the time of COVID.
Yes, Right Honorable.
You vaccinated, but you were also treating.
Yes,
Okay?
yes,
Because COVID had already come.
yes.
Would you say that now open the country, COVID is already here with us, or we
Order.
first put in place some measures?
You asked me,
Because
right?
why I'm raising this, Honorable? I'm not, why I'm asking you and the Director, Honorable, my fear is if the minister does what you are talking about now, okay? Won't this spread go escalate and go out of control? And the people we are saying we want help, instead we find we are not helping them at all. I just wanted that to be very clear, that the minister knows what we are asking.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. From the statement read by the minister, 3/4 of the country are under quarantine. So what are you quarantining for? We need to treat them. It's actually now we are looking for treatment. It's not inoculation anymore. That's my point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
So, honorable colleagues, I had no need for panicking. Okay, no need for panicking, honorable colleagues. Chiruhura, Gomba, I had allowed Moses, yeah, and then I had allowed Chankwanzi. I'm coming. I'm going to give you time. Honorable Yoton, I met you buying cows in Mbarara, so I hope they had no FMD. Yes. Switch on. Can you get another microphone? The microphone is, yeah, get.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the Minister for the statement. Right Honorable Speaker, you can see what we are going through. I appreciate my colleague Honorable Kajwenji on what he has raised. Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, we are here, but our people are passing through a very difficult situation. The people we are representing here. Right Honorable Speaker, I am happy that the Minister asked for the supplementary budget. I commend this House that we provide that immediately. Supplementary budget to purchase the vaccine. 2, Right Honorable Speaker, we need to do mass vaccination. Ring vaccination at the moment is not helping us at all. We need to do mass vaccination. Right Honorable Speaker, thirdly, I want you to put yourselves in our shoes. Our children are not going to school. The districts are very stuck. We need to go on the ground and show these people that we are concerned as leaders, as a country. Right Honorable Speaker, we request the Minister, we want to inform the Minister of Agriculture. Let's move with them on the ground. Let them go and explain to people. As much as we are putting measures, we have to show concern, Right Honorable Speaker. But we are passing through a difficult situation and we are not happy. Because people don't see the solution why we are here as members of Parliament when they are suffering. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Gomba, then Diantonde.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. And through you, I would like to thank the Minister for the report. Right Honorable Speaker, I listened in very well, and I've listened to my colleagues, Honorable Kajwenje and Honorable from Chiruhura. Right Honorable Speaker, I don't know if the ministry is aware that on top of the farmers trying to get their own vaccines, the market is also flooded with fake vaccines. When I was listening to the minister, I thought he would bring it up on how they are going to curb the fake vaccines on the market. Right Honorable Speaker, we were here before, and we talked about it for the Ministry of Trade and the Ministry of Agriculture. It is unfortunate that the farmers are buying vaccines, and the vaccines, most of them are fake. And the ministry is seated back, and we are suffering. Right Honorable Speaker, my second point, I would like to thank the ministry. I don't know why we often firefight. From the Honorable Minister's report, it looks like now we are firefighting, fire brigade, as if we didn't know this. He said they are going to have a meeting, but we've taken more or less 6 months in quarantine.
Conclude.
As I conclude, Right Honorable Speaker, the DVOs don't have enough facilitation. They cannot reach out to our farmers. And in your submission, you say that you're going to meet and do facilitation. Now, facilitation in which particular capacity? Is it for transport? Is it for buying bicycles like I've seen here in the report, or the rest? Can we have enough facilitation, at least for the farmers, to get enough sensitization and also kind relief in areas where we don't have the disease heavily? Thank you.
Thank you, Diantonde. Then Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Right Honorable Speaker, and the Honorable Minister for the report. First of all, I agree. I want to support the Minister on one side. Honestly, ring vaccination works. And then, of course, mass vaccination would be better. But based on his report, certainly we don't have all the resources to do mass vaccination. So the best option for now is to take the ring vaccination. At least it's working in the Antonde. I must appreciate what the ministry is doing. But then the challenge that comes with the vaccine takes 6 months, implying that every after 6 months, we must revaccinate, or we must boost the vaccine that we've used. Right Honorable Speaker, I think the question should be, as much as we are looking at giving a supplementary budget, why don't we channel more money in having the factory or the vaccine manufacturing locally be implemented, so that annually we can deal with the problem for good? Because we are going to pass a supplementary today, and we will not get the answer tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's number one. Number two, Right Honorable Speaker, there's something the Honorable Minister mentioned. The type of vaccine that we are trying to manufacture, it's a 2 serotype. But apparently what we are also using is more of the same, and it's apparent, according to the DVOs, it's not working effectively. They're appreciating the recent one, which has 7 variants or variants, is much better. I think you're getting it from the UK. They're insisting. Also, us investing in a vaccine of 2 serotypes, which may not work for us, we should invest more in having more serotypes so that it can be more effective than we are planning to invest. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, Honorable colleagues, Honorable Kajwenje raised a very important point, that government should be doing regulation. And really, I'm not imputing any ill motive, or I'm asking myself, are these vaccines even reaching the small people? Someone who has 1,000 cows, how do we buy for them vaccines? Why can't he sell 2 cows and buy vaccine? Because even me, I have my own agriculture practices, gardens I'm looking after. And then the Minister for Agriculture would say, for example, the Minister for Agriculture would say, before you sell a cow through regulation, that cow should have a certificate of vaccination. Okay? And now, these people who are having their big farms, thousands, because I usually see them bragging, saying for us, we don't have cows, we are not rich. Now, you who is rich, why are you waiting for government to give you vaccines? Okay? Why don't we go on regulation instead of spending these 100 billions? Then government will be able to control the type of vaccine, the vaccination process, and one is issued a certificate. And then we can say, for people of less than 50 cows, maybe, no, listen, maybe for 50 and below, you can say we're helping them. But someone who has 3,000 cows and is seated waiting for government to give them vaccines. Really? Oh no, Minister, I saw you were anxious to do.
Right Honorable, I plead for a minute. I want to thank you, colleagues, for discussing this issue soberly. And I feel for you because our livelihoods are disrupted. The point for you're raising are some of the policy propositions Cabinet will look at. But let me explain to you the science, why the scientists, since time immemorial, insisted that the government must buy the vaccines and give them out. One, take the lead. One, those vaccines, I'm not a veterinary, but I've been coached. And I can remember what they've told me. Yes, they have coached me because I am not a vet. Buaneka will correct me if I get a mistake, Honorable. Is that these are live organisms. Yeah, they are biological substances. And when you are importing, you import for the type of the virus you have. So if you allow X, Y, Z to import, just a minute, I'm coming to that. You can even import for the strains you don't have in your own country. So the options we have now for discussion in the cabinet, because it's a policy reversal now, I believe we would have some policy reform. We have established without any doubt that sure a farmer can afford. Even if you're a small 3-5 cows. We have established this, and at the ministry level, we have built consensus on that. So, the guidance from the president, which will be further discussed, is government import, have national veterinary medical stores for safe storage, and then send to the people, they pay through the national payment system of local government and Ministry of Finance. So that's why I could not conclusively give you this position until cabinet endorses it. We are certainly moving there. Now, the point of why do we panic? It's not that we are not aware of this, but I have told you, perennially, the ministry has been getting 1.1%, $500,000 doses. Here, we are the least funded. Ministry of Health is able to fight the vaccinatable diseases because there are many partners that put money in the basket, which is not the same with the agricultural sector. So, colleagues, I feel what you feel. Let us require the money initially, import the vaccines, and ask the farmers to pay for them. I am sure I will pitch for this position in the cabinet, and colleagues will support me.
And the farmers will support you. Moses.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think one of the positions which I wanted to present is clearly articulated by the Minister. At least let's go for cost sharing. Let's manage a process which enables us to have security within the system. But also I wanted to mention that amongst the other policies which you may wish to consider, and I've said this many times here, if you are going to work towards ensuring that the cattle we can export, it must be disease-free. So we should be engaging ourselves in policies and implementation of methods which will allow us to have disease-free cattle, like feedlotting. Let's start progressing towards feedlotting. I've seen some person whom I know in Gomba. Her place is disease-free. She does not treat. There are no ticks. certainly there's no foot and mouth disease there. That's the right way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chankwanzi. Then, Ayo.
Thank you so much.
Switch on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I should also begin by thanking the Honorable Minister for the statement and my honorable colleagues for their submissions. Mr. Speaker, I've been able to read the non-verbal communication of the minister when he was presenting. And I can tell you he's very concerned. But from his statement, he came out with 3 approaches. One is the biannual compulsory vaccination, to which he alluded that if the government can only vaccinate 1.1% of the susceptible animals. I happen to be a teacher by training. If a student scores 1.1%, then I would be ashamed to say that the student sat for the exam. So I can actually say, Right Honorable Speaker, I can actually say that there is no vaccination by government. 2 is the test and slaughter, followed by safe disposal, which he said that it's not possible, so that one will rule it out. Now we are left with only one option, and that is quarantine. Unfortunately, it's not productive. My colleagues have already submitted that our cattle keepers, Right Honorable, these are people who are dependent on their animals and the animal products. I can say 99%. My constituency, Butemba, people are not poor. And Right Honorable Speaker, you put it right when you said that these people can actually afford to do away with a few animals to spare the others. I liked the submission of my honorable sister from Gomba. She put it right. The problem is that these vaccines perhaps are not available. Now that the Honorable Minister is aware that they are strain-specific vaccines, can't the ministry avail these vaccines, put them somewhere where we have vaccine centers, and these people can buy the vaccines?
Thank you. That's a policy reversal the minister talked about.
Yeah,
and of course, it has to be government controlled the way it's put. But luckily enough, he said after cabinet and what he will come and update us.
Yeah.
Okay?
My only concern, Right Honorable, is that this is not the first time we are having FMD. FMD has been here.
Honorable Chankwanzi, the minister has told you about a policy reversal, which we hope this time will give us a better solution.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the minister that now is considering policy reversal. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, the policy and the strategy that we have been using for the last 60 years to manage FMD has resulted into us preserving and conserving FMD in the country. Yet by now, we should have dealt away with the FMD, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, among other vaccines for animals, FMD vaccines is only imported into the country through government or by government, not private people. You can imagine it is only government mandated to import FMD vaccines, not private people. So you see that level of control by government, and it is these commissioners who plan on how these vaccines get into the country and how they are distributed. And you can see there's already a complaint of having fake vaccines in the market. Now, how does those fake ones get into the country? Is it being brought by government? Right Honorable Speaker, these are issues because I come from Chawente sub-county, and the Banyankole here knows what Chawente means. So anything on cows, on goats, on sheep has been part of my life. I went to Kiruhura and Mbarara to buy some cows, and also in Nakasongola.
The big farmers were questioning, what is wrong with the government? We can afford to buy vaccines for FMD, but we are not allowed. You have to go and plead. Then they give you only 100 doses, and some of these farmers have got up to 4,000 cows. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think we would want to advise, one, government must adopt a policy where the veterinary officers or vet assistants would go to the field, take blood samples, so that we know the strain of the disease. Then they make analysis, they mobilize farmers to get their own money and pay for vaccines. If the cost of treating a Frisian cow is almost 100,000 shillings, why is government tight so much on only 7,000 shillings for 2 doses of treating, vaccinating FMD? So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think this policy must...
Thank you. Honorable Ganika, clerk, please establish for me quorum for the next item.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of FMD, it is important for us to look at what we need to do now and what we need to do in the future. What we need to do now, there are only 2 things. We must control animal movements. There is no option. It is a must. We must control animal movements. Number 2, we must avail vaccines. I'm in total support of a supplemental on the floor of Parliament to secure vaccines. But, Right Honorable Speaker, this supplemental should include the money for the coffee seedling farmers. That money should be included in that supplement.
Terego?
No, Right Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking on behalf of my...
Thank you so much.
Just Terego, wait a bit. Please, honorable colleagues. Our rules of procedure are very clear. Here we work through rules of procedure. It's not when a debate is on a certain matter, okay? When a debate is on a certain matter, we debate on certain matter. Personally, my area, we don't have cows in Mitoma. I don't own cows. Okay? So no one can, instead I grow coffee. Okay? But the debate we have now is on FMD. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join colleagues in supporting what the Minister has just presented on the floor Parliament. Our cows in Terego are almost like goats. And we have had the honor to have the big cows so that we improve on our breed of cows in Terego. Now, if we are going to have these cows die, Right Honorable Speaker, protection. Right Honorable Speaker, if we are going to have these cows die of disease, honestly, Terego will not have the chance to improving its cows. The breed of its cows. I think we need to have a supplementary budget so that we are able to get the right medicine, and the control must continue. In this country, fake medicine continues to come, but this does not stop government from quality control. I am in total agreement so that my people can eat better cows and bigger quality, and we marry out of them. Thank you.
General Mujira, I saw you standing up. Aria? Was he? Okay. It was General Kavuma. It was. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Minister of Agriculture for the statement and his proposal to reverse the policy on FMD. And we seem to be agreeing, all of us, that he has good proposals and pending cabinet approval when the next cabinet. But once that one is done, of course, there's going to be another long process After the approval of the cabinet, he's going to come back here to brief Parliament. Then Parliament approves the money, which is not very little money. Then Minister of Finance looks for money, I don't know for how long. Now, my question or appeal, therefore, is, as we go all through that process, people are in quarantine. People are not selling milk, they are not selling their cows. What do we do with this quarantine that is going really to affect, has already affected, is going to affect? So by the time we conclude this long process, will our people still be under quarantine, suffering? Maybe we need a position on the existing quarantine. I submit.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I have my colleague who usually listens to me properly. Today I saw he's totally annoyed with me. Okay? And the unfortunate bit of it is when I'm running this house, I run it according to rules you gave me. Chapter 12 of our rules of procedure, Rule 72, yes, sub-rule 1, says, which is part 12 is about rules of debate. The only part to do with debate. And Rule 72, sub-rule 1, a speech of a member during debate must have reference to the subject matter under discussion. Okay? Today we are not discussing supplementary because that is against Rule 80, which is anticipation, because there is no supplementary here. And the Minister of Agriculture does not bring supplementary, it's brought by the Minister of Finance. Today we are discussing a statement on FMD, okay? So my brother, please take it in good faith. I'm just trying to interpret the rules. I can only run this house within the confines of the rules you gave me, okay? So I really wanted us to understand each other. I couldn't go outside. Now, honorable colleagues, I've seen, please, honorable colleagues, I've seen what we are presenting is all the same. Until, listen, you see it's not about hearing every side. Until where the policy reversal has been made, so that they come and give us details of that policy. Then the meeting which is on today. So, Honorable Minister, if you're handling today and Monday in cabinet, I think on Tuesday you would be able to come and bring another statement that would be more updated with whether the policy reversal has been allowed or not, whether the budget has been allowed or not, and then we continue the debate on Tuesday. Next item.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg that I report on Thursday.
Okay.
Because Tuesday I'm in Soroti.
Thursday.
Thank you.
I have established quorum, both online and present, 109 and 94. Next item.
Item number 4 on the order paper. Bill second reading. The Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023.
Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister, I already called you.
Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and members. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023 be read the second time.
Is the motion seconded?
The object of the bill is to ensure that Uganda is in compliance and satisfactory performance in the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program that commenced on the 6th of September 2023. The first phase ended, and the second phase is on now, ending on the 8th of February 2024, and to ensure the safety and security of Uganda's aviation sector. The Sectoral Committee on Physical Infrastructure has concluded consultations on the bill and is ready to report on the same. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Colleagues, I didn't call the sub-items under 3 because the Minister had already reached out to me and he had requested that he will be ready next week. Honorable Minister, you promised when? Which day next week? On Tuesday?
Right, Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday I'll bring a full report on the 2 items.
Yes, on the roads, issue of Kampala Jinja Expressway, then Nebigori Paida Zomba Road on Tuesday next week. The Minister had reached out to me. So, Chair, Honorable Watkins, you have a procedure matter?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you very much. Globally, and this is applied nationally, and it can also be applied locally. Presidential directive, Mr. Speaker. We have one president, and as a country, we can only have one president at a time. But there is this animal in the room, or even in Uganda, called presidential directive. A presidential directive forms into executive orders that have force of law and effect, or effect and order of law. Mr. Speaker, sir, when King was or had the opportunity to meet up with the president, he did ask for the international airport, especially in Kasese. I followed, yes, it's a procedural issue. The minister is here and he will be on the floor on Tuesday. The same president gave a directive to the minister to work on the international bridge, Mr. Speaker. As we speak right now, the minister or his colleagues have not made it a point to go and check on the bridge and the business, and we as a country are losing revenue. Mr. Speaker, sir, wouldn't it be procedurally right that when the minister shows up on Tuesday, he also ropes that in to update the nation, because as a country, we're losing quite a lot in terms of revenue and also livelihood, as far as the Kasese population is concerned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, honorable colleagues, you see, when I followed the rules strictly, I ended up annoying my colleagues here. So I didn't want to annoy another one immediately right away. Okay? But procedure should be on what is going on there and then. Okay? Should be about what is going on there and then. Only was John wants to disturb me, so no, please. Yes, what's going on there and then, okay? So that's procedure should be about that. So I would really indulge you, but Honorable Minister, you've picked the point. Please, on Tuesday when you're coming, follow up on that. Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues. This is a report of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure on Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023. I table the report and the minutes of the meeting. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the introduction is that Civil Aviation Amendment Bill 2023 was read for the first time on Tuesday, 30th January 2024, and referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure in accordance with Rules 128 and 129 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament for consideration and report to the House. The object of the bill, the policy and principles of this bill are to amend Civil Aviation Authority Act CAP 354 to bring it to conformity with the Convention on the International Civil Aviation, Chicago Convention, to provide for delegation of powers to inspectors to have unrestricted access to aircraft, aerodromes, and aviation facilities, including cargo and records of aviation organizations under Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. To enable Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to recognize agreements of third-party states who are signatories to Article 83 bis of the Chicago Convention relating to transfer of functions and duties, and prescribe additional offenses. The amendment of the Act is intended to ensure Uganda's compliance and satisfactory performance in the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program that commenced on 6 September 2023, and to ensure the safety and security of Uganda's aviation sector. The methodology: the committee held meetings and received memoranda from the following: the 1, Minister of Works and Transport; 2, the Office of Attorney General; 3, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. Committee observations. The committee observed the following: Uganda, being a signatory to the International Convention of Civil Aviation, ICAO, 1994, is obliged under Article 37 of the Convention to comply with ICAO international standards and recommended practices contained in the 19 annexes to the Convention. The ICAO Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, OSAP, for Uganda that was carried out between 6th to 18th September 2023 was intended to monitor Uganda's compliance with ICAO safety-related SAPs or safety oversight obligations under the Convention, audited 2 critical elements relating to primary aviation and legislation and regulation made under primary aviation legislation, and identified gaps both in the primary aviation legislation and Civil Aviation Act, which, if not addressed immediately, could affect several audit areas and consequently expose the country to adverse audit findings that could have far-reaching implications to the country, including a finding of significant safety concern. The bill proposes to empower the director to delegate his powers, that is 3, powers to inspectors to have unrestricted access to aircraft, aerodromes, and aviation facilities, including cargoes and records of aviation organizations under Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. 4, the bill proposes to enable the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to recognize agreements of third-party states who are signatories to Article 83 bis of the Chicago Convention relating to transfer of functions and duties. 5, the bill proposes to prescribe additional offenses and stringent penalties for certain offenses. 6, there is a need to harmonize the provision for various offenses arising from acts of unlawful interference. These offenses are prescribed in Clause 10 under the proposed Section 64D. The proposed Section 64D, Clause 1, creates an offense against a person who unlawfully seizes an aircraft or engages in the unlawful seizure of an aircraft, punishable by imprisonment for life, and yet some offenses created under the above-mentioned clause are similar to to the offense of terrorism created under the Anti-Terrorism Act 2002 are punishable by death. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, 7 here, clause 1 seeks to amend section 2 of the Act to define acts of unlawful interference. 8, clause 2 seeks to amend section 6 of the Act to provide for additional functions of the Civil Aviation Authority to include safety oversight of air navigation services and safety oversight of aerodromes. 9, clause 3 seeks to amend section 15A of the Act to provide for additional powers of the Director General. 10, clause 4 seeks to amend section 15 to allow the Director General delegate his or her powers to an employee of the authority as appropriate. 11, clause 5 seeks to amend section 38A to provide for the objective of ever investigation of an accident or serious incident as being to determine the safety factors and, where possible, the probable cause and the prevention of accidents or serious incidents. Clause 6 seeks to amend section 38B by substituting for the word incident wherever it occurs the word serious incident to comply with CAO standards. Clause 7 seeks to amend section 38C by substituting for the word incident wherever it occurs the words serious incident to comply with ICAO standards, and further to allow the investigators to have timely, uninterrupted access and control over an aircraft accident or serious incident site, including wreckage, investigation materials, evidence, and documents, including aircraft service records, and recorders. Clause 8 seeks to amend section 39A to allow an inspector to have unrestricted and unlimited access to any part of the aircraft, aerodrome land, or area outside the aerodrome used by any business that operates at an aerodrome, and any records and information that may be required during the conducting of an inspection.
Honorable Chair, we shall go through these clauses at committee stage. Can you go to the recommendations?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the committee recommends as follows. The committee recommends that government considers the additional amendments in order to sufficiently address the ICAO audit findings. The committee recommends that the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023 be passed into law subject to proposed amendments. Then,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
For the proposed amendments, we shall handle them at committee stage. Honorable colleagues, this is mainly more or less just comply with international standards. So I don't know really the debate we would want to have on this. Why don't we go on committee stage? Honorable Cyrus?
Chair, Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted first of all to commend the committee. And I wish all chairpersons would behave like that. When you are given work, deliver within 3 days and we go. I think that should be the way. In the similar vein, we should be bringing the legal aid bill here and we deal with it. I want to move that we go for committee stage straight away because I don't see any controversies in this or on compliance issues. You know, when it comes to issues of aviation, the sector is heavily sensitive. So we must align ourselves to the international conventions and the agreements.
Thank you.
I agree with
Clark.
the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I now put the question that the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023 be read the second time. Those in favor say aye, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023. Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
Chair.
Mr. Chair, proposed amendments to the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill 2023, Clause 1, amendment of Section 2 of the Civil Aviation Authority Act. Clause 1 of the bill is amended A, by substituting for paragraph B the following. B, damage or destruction of an aircraft in service. B, in paragraph D and E, by substituting for the word airport the word aerodrome. Justification: to comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security as provided in Annex 17 of the Chicago Convention.
Chair.
And this, this goes along with E.
Paragraph D and E.
Yes, paragraph D and E. Much obliged.
Thank you.
Chair.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair, I agree with the proposed amendment.
Thank you.
I agree with the proposal.
Thank you. I put the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 1 as amended.
I put the question that clause 1 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Chair.
Clause 2, amendment of Section 6 of Principal Act. Clause 2 of the bill.
No, I think you needed, you had a new clause, Chair. Yeah.
Yes. It was a misread. Sorry. It is Section 5 of the Principal Act. Is amended by numbering the existing provision as subsection 1 and by inserting immediately after subsection 1 the following. 2, the primary objective relating to aviation security in Uganda is to ensure the safety of passengers, crew, ground personnel, and the general public in all matters relating to safeguarding against acts of unlawful interference with civil aviation in order to ensure that the aviation security remains the highest of priorities when related decisions are made. Justification: to comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security as provided in Annex 17 of the Chicago Convention.
Honorable Minister, I first listen to the Minister.
Chair, I agree with the proposed amendment.
Chair.
Honorable Singoma.
Chair, I would like to propose that the terms aerodromes and airport, as they occur in clause 2 and 1, are defined in the interpretation clause.
Honorable Chair, I wanted to respond to that.
because they are taken care of in the definitions in the Principal Act.
Because, Chair, why I'm asking, when I look at your amendments, you wanted to insert a new clause immediately after clause 1, and I'm reading from your report. Yeah, just go back because I'm following.
Thank you very much.
Through your report, and that's what I'm following.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Yeah.
On page 6, there is a proposal.
So before we got clause 5, which
Yes.
we are talking about,
Yes.
let us,
Yes.
immediate after clause 1.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Chair. Immediately after clause 1, we propose an insertion of a new clause immediately after clause 1, and the bill is amended by inserting immediately after clause 1 the following amendments of section 5 of the Principal Act. The bill is amended by inserting immediately after clause 1 the following amendments of section 5 of Principal Act. And I will repeat, section 5 of the Principal Act is amended A, by numbering the existing provision as subsection 1, and B, by inserting immediately after subsection 1 the following. 2, the primary objective relating to aviation security in Uganda is to ensure the safety of passengers, crew, ground personnel, and the general public in all matters relating to safeguarding against acts of unlawful interference with civil aviation, in order to ensure that aviation security remains the highest of priorities when related decisions are made. Justification: to comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security as provided in Annex 17 of the Chicago Convention. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Chair.
Yeah,
Honorable Chair, I agree with the proposed amendment.
Thank you. Honorable colleague.
Honorable Chair, I concede.
Yeah, thank you. Attorney General, I shouldn't be disturbing you because you're one. A minister can only bring what you've advised him. I don't want to disturb
Most
you.
obliged.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I put a question that clause 1 be amended. No. I put a question that a new clause be inserted as proposed. Those in favor say aye, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Right Honorable Chair, clause 2, amendment of section 6 of Principal Act. Clause 2 of the bill is amended by inserting immediately after paragraph QH the following. Q1, establishing a unit responsible for aviation security. And justification is to require CCA to establish a unit responsible for aviation security in compliance with the ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security as provided for in Annex 17 of the Chicago Convention. So this is a requirement still by ICAO.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Chair, I agree with the proposed amendment as demanded.
Thank you. Honorable Attorney General.
While I agree to the proposed amendment, the wording should change to say the establishment of a unit, because it is this section that is establishing the unit.
Okay.
It should read the establishment of a unit responsible for aviation security.
Chair?
It's okay, Right Honorable Chair. I concede.
As if it's grudging, okay. No, it's okay.
No.
Honorable colleagues, I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2 as amended.
I put the question that clause 2 as amended stands as part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair?
Thank you once again, Right Honorable Chair. There is an insertion of a new clause immediately after clause 2. The bill is amended by inserting immediately after clause 2 the following amendment of section 7 of the Principal Act. Section 7 of the Principal Act is amended in subsection 2 by deleting the words and security and paragraph. In paragraph I, by inserting immediately after paragraph K the following. I, to conduct aviation security audits, inspections, security tests, investigations, and vulnerability assessment, and M, to develop aviation security policies and requirements. Justification to comply with the requirements of ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security as provided in Annex 17 of the Chicago Convention.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Chair, I agree with the proposed amendments.
Honorable colleagues, I put the question. Yes, Honorable Cyrus.
Just wanted to inquire from the committee and the minister about the frequency of the inspections, whether in the international benchmark they are not provided for. The frequency, if you are going to conduct safety inspections, for instance, are they talking about how often we do them? Is it necessary?
No, the inspections which we are talking about here, Chair and honorable members, is inspection by our inspectors, national inspectors, who are allowed to carry out inspection of aircraft, including all associated issues with the aircraft, including even the pilots at any one time. So this is different from the audits which come, after many years. Yeah, the inspection you cannot dictate because the inspector should be free to call out an inspection at any one time for the safety of the passengers and the aircraft.
Thank you. Colleagues, I put the question that a new clause be inserted in the bill as proposed. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair. No. Honorable colleagues, in clause 3, I put the question that clause 3 stands as part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. Ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put the question that clause 4 stands as part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Chair.
Thank you again, Right Honorable Chair. Insertion of new clause immediately after clause 4. The bill is amended by inserting immediately after clause 4 the following. Amendment of section 38 of Principal Act. Section 38 of Principal Act is amended by inserting immediately before the word incident, wherever it appears in the provision, the word serious. Justification. It is a consequential amendment arising from the amendment in clause 5, 6, and 7 of the bill.
Honorable colleagues, consequential amendments come after we have finished our primary clauses. Okay? So this one, let's stand over it. We shall come back after. Because we might refuse to amend the other ones when we've already done the consequential.
Chair.
No, Honorable,
On the
what?
same. I wanted to seek clarification from the chair.
No, but the clause he has just read, we've stood over it. And on consequential amendments, there is no question. Because they are coming as a consequence of amending the other clauses.
Clause 5.
Chair.
Right Honorable Chair, Clause 5, amendment of Section 38B of Principal Act. For Clause 5, there is substituted the following. Amendment of Section 38B of Principal Act. The Principal Act is amended A, by numbering the current provision as subsection 1, then B, by substituting for the word incident wherever it appears, the words serious incident. C, by inserting immediately after subsection 1 the following. The chief investigator shall cause an investigation to be carried out where an aircraft accident or serious incident occurs in any of the following circumstances. A, where the accident or serious incident occurs in Uganda, B, where the accident or serious incident occurs in any non-contracting state which does not intend to carry out an investigation of the accident or serious incident and involves an aircraft registered in Uganda or an aircraft operated by an operator whose principal base of operation is in Uganda. C, where the accident or serious incident involves an aircraft registered in Uganda or an aircraft operated by an operator in Uganda, and the investigation has been delegated to Uganda by another contracting state by mutual arrangement and consent. Or D, where the accident or serious incident occurs in a location that cannot be definitely established as being in the territory or any state and involves an aircraft registered in Uganda. 3, the chief investigator may, where he or she expects to draw air safety lessons from an accident or serious incident cause an investigation to be carried out into an accident or serious incident which occurs in Uganda or outside Uganda, involving an aircraft registered in Uganda or an aircraft operated by an operator in Uganda. 4, clause 4, the chief investigator may appoint any person as an advisor to assist in carrying out an investigation. 5, the chief investigator may, with approval of the minister, delegate the task of carrying out an investigation into an accident or serious incident to another contracting state or an accident investigation authority by mutual arrangement and consent. Justification: to comply with the requirements of ICAO standards and recommended practices relating to aviation security and provided in Annex 13 of the Chicago Convention.
Yes, Honorable Songo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could we, the Attorney General, to come in on this? Chief Investigator, who is he? Can we qualify him? Is he trained in aviation authority, in aviation? Can we qualify that so that we don't create any chief investigator? Thank you.
Honorable Minister, you can answer that.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair and members, yes, the chief investigator must be a highly qualified person who has been in the airline industry for a long time. And we normally screen them and look at their CVs, either a retired pilot, an engineer, or somebody who has really been in the air industry. It's not that any person can become a chief investigator.
I think we are together.
Yes.
So can we draft it properly, or we define him in the interpretation section.
We'll define
Thank
it
you,
in
Mr.
the
Chair.
interpretation.
Honorable Mshemeza.
Thank you, Chair. Listening to the grounds that make the investigator to order an investigation, I can see they are limited to where